Okay, we will start the class. Okay, so I have shared the screen, the assignment questions on this mesh and nodal analysis as well as on the equivalent resistance part. Can you all hear me properly?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Okay, so this class is mainly to discuss on the difficulties or any challenges you faced in the assignment part, especially in the mesh analysis. Okay, so nodal analysis we just started in the last class. So what you can do is whatever part we have completed, you can try doing it. So if there is a circuit with only current sources, then I think we have already discussed that. So those numericals you can try. You can just go through the numericals and check which has only current sources, and that numerical you can try for the nodal analysis. Okay, so with the voltage source we will discuss in the next class. Maybe after that you can try the remaining problems. Okay, so now for the mesh analysis, like you can tell me which numerical you had difficulty. Those numericals I will discuss.
Fifth question.
Which one?
Fifth one.
Fifth one is using nodal analysis. No, nodal analysis using voltage source we didn't discuss in the class. Okay.
Okay.
So
Ma'am, third question.
third question.
Third question, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, third question we'll see that. Okay, I'll share the screen.
Ma'am, the nodal analysis questions will be analyzed after, like later, ma'am, after the discussion on the class.
Yes, nodal analysis we will discuss later, because if there is a voltage source, I didn't teach that method itself, right? So in the next class only I will teach the method. So after that we will discuss the nodal analysis assignment. Okay.
Okay.
Ma'am, please discuss the first and second also.
First and second also. Okay. Okay, can you see the blackboard?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so first let us discuss the third question. Finding V naught using mesh analysis, right? V naught has to be determined using mesh analysis. So I'll just draw the circuit. Okay, so this we have to analyze using mesh analysis. Okay, so if you're analyzing using mesh analysis, first we have to fix the mesh currents. Okay, so here I1 and I2 are taken as the mesh currents, and what we have to determine is V naught. Okay, so V naught is the voltage across this 2 ampere current source. Okay, So now once we get this value of I1 and I2, we will be able to determine this V0. Okay. So what do? We have to apply mesh analysis. So in mesh analysis, if there is any current source, since we do not know the voltage across the current source, we cannot write a KVL equation. Okay. So what we have to do is we have to form a super mesh by removing the current source. Okay. And here in this numerical, there is only a current source without any series element. So we have to just remove the current source alone. Okay. And we have to redraw the circuit without the current source. And that will create a super mesh. Okay. So how we create a super mesh is, so without the current source, again we have to redraw the diagram. So here we have 12 volt, 6 ohm, 7 ohm and 5 ohm. Okay. However, we have to retain the currents I1 and I2. So in the same mesh, we are having two currents. Okay, and that's the reason why it is called as a super mesh. Okay, I1 and I2. So now what we can do is, if you see, since we know the currents, we can easily write the voltage across each of these resistive elements, and we also have a voltage source. Okay, so writing the KVL equation for this particular super mesh, we will get it as, so KVL is, we have to go in the direction of the current as I told you. So for the 12 volt source, it is minus 12. For the 6 ohm, it is minus 6 I1. For the 7 ohm, it is I2 current. So it is minus 7 I2 and minus 5 I2 is equal to 0. Okay, so this is the first equation. Are you able to understand? So remove the current source because we cannot write the voltage across a current source. So after removing the current source, we will form a super mesh. So for the super mesh, we can write the KVL equation. Okay. And when we are writing the KVL equation, go in the direction of the current. Yes.
Ma'am, how is it minus 12?
You are coming out of the negative terminal, no? When we are going in the direction of current.
We can take positive,
how can we
right?
take that voltage source?
Huh?
Ma'am, it's supplying, right?
See, always voltage source or current source will supply. That is not the issue here. When we are writing a KVL equation, always we have to go in the direction of the current. The current directions are going in the clockwise direction. Okay, so when we are going in the clockwise direction, you see here, we are coming out of this. So if you just consider this I1, we are coming out of the negative terminal of this 12 volt. So the convention we are following is, when we are coming out of the negative terminal, we will take that as the polarity.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the entire currents, if you see everything, all the currents are going in the clockwise direction. So we have to analyze the circuit in the clockwise direction. So when we are coming out of this negative terminal, it is minus 12 volt, then minus 6 I1 because it is a resistor, there will be a voltage drop, and the current through that is I1. And coming to the 7 ohm and 5 ohm, the current through them is I2. So it is minus 7 I2 minus 5 I2 is equal to 0. This is the first equation. Are you able to understand?
Yes.
Okay, so now we can simplify this equation so that we will get the first equation for finding the currents I1 and I2. So if you simplify this, we will get minus 6 I1 minus 12 I2 is equal to 12. So that will be the first equation, equation number 1. Okay. But this will not be sufficient for us to solve the circuit. We require one more. Okay, so for that we will apply the KCL. So where, yes, so where do we apply the KCL is? We will just again redraw. So since you are doing for the first time, always redraw whichever is required and then proceed. Okay, so that you will not make any mistakes. So you just draw this junction alone. So here I2 is entering, I1 is leaving.
I1 plus 2 is equal to I2, ma'am.
Yeah. So how do we write? I2 current is entering. So I2 is equal to, so this we are applying a KCL. So whenever there is a super mesh, we have to apply both KVL and KCL. So we can write I2 is equal to 2 plus I1. Okay, 2 plus I1. So if you rearrange this equation, we will get I1 minus I2 is equal to minus 2. So that will be equation number 2. Okay. So redraw the current source part separately and apply KCL at that particular node. Okay. So we will get I1 minus I2 is equal to minus 2. So what is the value of I1 and I2?
Minus 2 and 0.
Yes. I1 is minus 2 and I2 is 0. So I1 is minus 2 ampere and I2 is equal to 0. Okay. I2 is 0 ampere. But what do we require in this numerical? They are asking us to find V0. Okay. So how do we find V0? V0 is the voltage across the current source, right? As given in the numerical, it is the voltage across the current source. But we do not know what is the resistance of the current source. So that's the reason why directly from the current source we cannot find what is this V0. So what we have to do is, if you just see the circuit. I think there is a time delay between what I am showing on my screen and what is appearing. So if there is a delay, I will just wait. Okay. Yeah, I think it has come here now. So you see here this V0. Okay, V0 is the voltage across this 2 ampere. Okay, but since we do not know the internal resistance of this current source, we cannot compute this V0 directly from the 2 ampere current. However, by using the concept of this parallel combination, okay, so we know that if elements are in parallel, they have the same voltage across them. Okay, so now for this V0, which is across 2 ampere current source, 2 ampere current source is parallel to the combination of 7 ohm and 5 ohm, right? This 2 ampere is exactly parallel to the series combination of 7 and 5 ohm. And we have already computed what is this current I2. Okay. So now by finding the drop across the 7 ohm and 5 ohm also, we will be able to determine what is V0. Okay. So we will use that concept for finding V0 value. So I will draw the circuit separately. So here we are having 7 ohm and 5 ohm.
0, ma'am.
Yes. So this is V0 we have to find, and the current is I2. So here we have the 7 ohm and 5 ohm. So what is V0 from this circuit? V0 is a drop across the 7 ohm and 5 ohm. So we can write V0 is equal to 12 times I2 because 7 and 5 are in series. And since I2 is 0, V0 is equal to 0. Okay. V0 is equal to 0 volt. Are you able to understand? So we found I1, I2, and since this 2 ampere current is exactly parallel to the series combination of 7 ohm and 5 ohm, and since we know we have computed the value of I2, we can easily find what is V0. Okay, so V0 is a voltage drop across 7 ohm and 5 ohm also. So it is 12 I2. Since I2 is 0, the voltage drop across them is 0 volt.
Ma'am, we can take mesh 1, I mean loop 1 also.
Yes, you can take loop 1 also. So if you take loop 1, what do we get? Again, the same thing. Okay, so I'll just draw that also. So here we are having 6 ohm. Here we are having 12 volt. And this is the current I1. And we have to find what is V0. Okay. So for finding this, we can just write a KVL equation here. So minus 12 minus 6 I1 minus V0 is equal to 0. If you just go in the direction of current, we will write minus 12 minus 6 I1 minus V0 is equal to 0. So from this, we can find what is V0. V0 is minus 12 minus 6 I1. So I1 is minus 2, so that becomes 0 volt. So whether you consider the first loop or the second loop, the answer will remain the same.
Ma'am, as the V0 is at 2 ampere current source, we can take V0 is equal to 2 I2, ma'am. I mean 2 I1.
2 is already a current, right? So how do you compute a voltage? Voltage is the product of current and a resistance.
Okay, ma'am.
2 ampere is a current value, but you do not know what is the resistance of that. Okay, so that's the reason from the 2 ampere current we cannot find the voltage. So we go with a parallel combination. So since this the two loops on the both the sides are parallel to that, by finding the voltage drop across the two loops, we can find what is V0. Either of this you can follow. Okay, either you can take the right side loop or you can take the left side loop and find what is V0. Okay. So is this clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so somebody told for the first problem also you need a discussion. Okay, so we'll do the first one. Have you all copied this one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we will do the first circuit. Okay, and here also what we have to find is we have to find V0 using mesh analysis. Okay. So what do we do first? Whenever we have mesh analysis, first fix the mesh currents. Yes, always first fix the mesh currents. So we have 3 meshes. So we have 3 currents, I1, I2 and I3. Okay. First fix the mesh currents, I1, I2, I3. And now you can just see the circuit. There is a voltage source and there is a current source. Okay. So for mesh analysis, we will be applying KVL. So for the 12 volt, we don't have any problem, but for the current source, we will have an issue. Okay. So what we have to do is we have to create a super mesh. So how do we create a super mesh? By removing the current source. The remaining circuit, if we redraw, we will get a super mesh.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, when current source and voltage source are in the same mesh only, we have to take the super mesh, ma'am.
No. Whenever there is a current source, you have to remove. That is the condition. It is not related with any of the voltage source. Whether you have a voltage source or not is not a problem at all. If there is a current source, we cannot write what is the voltage drop across that, and that is the reason why we remove that and create the super mesh.
I mean, if there is any two sources like one current, one source, one voltage, or two current sources in one loop, is there any problem, ma'am, writing KVL?
Whenever there is a current source, we have a problem in writing the KVL. We can have n number of voltage source. That is not a problem at all. But if we have a current source, we do not know what is the voltage across a current source. Okay.
Both are current sources, ma'am.
Even if both are current sources, we have to remove them. See, first understand the concept. Why we are removing is we do not know what is the voltage across a current source. But if it is a voltage source, we don't have any issue at all. Okay, that is the reason why we are removing the current source. Is it clear? For KVL, all the terms in this KVL equation should be a voltage term. Okay. So if you are having a voltage source, directly we can write the voltage source. Similarly, if you have a resistance, the product of resistance and the current will give a voltage. But if you have a current source, unless we know the resistance in the current source, we cannot write a KVL. And one element we cannot miss. When we are writing a KVL equation for a loop, one element we cannot miss. It means that the KVL equation is incomplete, and with that we cannot solve the circuit. That's the reason whenever there is a current source, we have to remove. It is not mandatory that it should be connected to a voltage source or it should not be connected to a voltage source. So nothing of that sort. I have not told anything about that. Okay. Only if there is a current source, we have to remove that particular branch and then analyze the circuit. So now if you see this particular circuit, after removing the current source, we are creating a super mesh. Okay. So now for this super mesh, we can write the KVL equations. How do you write? So what will be the first equation?
4I1 plus 2I2 plus 8 into I2 minus I3 is equal to 0.
Okay, so I am using this negative convention. So since there is a voltage drop, I am writing it as minus 4I1. The equation what you told is correct only. Okay. So minus 2I2 minus 8 I2 minus I3 is equal to 0. Okay, so for the super mesh, there are two currents, I1 and I2. I1 is flowing only through 4 ohm and I2 is flowing through both 2 ohm as well as 8 ohm. Okay. However, this 8 ohm resistor is common between two loops. So the difference between the two currents will flow through 8 ohm. And we are going in the direction of I2. So it is minus 8, I2 minus I3, that is equal to 0. So now we can rearrange this equation. So we will be getting minus 4I1 minus 10I2 plus 8I3 is equal to 0. So this will be equation number 1. Similarly, there is one more mesh here, right? So for the second mesh also, we have to write the KVL equation. Okay, so totally we should get 3 equations because there are 3 unknowns. So how do we write for the second loop?
Minus 8 I3 minus I2 minus 3 I3 is equal to follow.
Yes, 8 ohm, if you see, it is common between two meshes. So the difference between the current flows through them, and we are going in the direction of I3. Okay. So when we are writing a KVL equation for a particular mesh, we have to always go in the direction of the current. So here minus 8 into I3 minus I2 minus 3I3 minus 12. Yeah, we are coming out of the negative polarity of this 12 volts. So it is minus 12 is equal to 0. Okay, so again we can rearrange this equation so that we will get the second equation. So that will be 8I2 minus 11I3 is equal to 12. So that will give us equation number 2. Okay, so actually it is very simple. Always go in the direction of the current and write the voltage across it. Okay, and the convention what I am following is the polarity from which I am coming out of that particular element is taken as the polarity. Okay, and if it is a voltage source, already the polarity will be there. But if there is a resistance, there will be a drop. So it is always minus resistance into the current flowing through that. So that will complete the second loop. So now we have removed this current source to create a super mesh. So what we will do is we will again draw the current source part which we have removed and write a KCL equation for that. Okay. So this junction where we removed it, we will just draw it separately.
I1 plus 3 is equal to I2.
but 3 ampere is entering. I2 is also entering, right? So 3 plus I2. The entering current is equal to the leaving current. Okay. Carefully you have to observe the node. So at this nodal point, 3 and I2 are entering and I1 is leaving. So 3 plus I2 is I1. So if we again rearrange, it is I1 minus I2 is equal to 3. So this is equation number 3. So now if you solve I1, if you solve 1, 2 and 3, we will get all the currents. So what is I1?
0.466.
Okay, yeah, I'm just keeping it as a fraction. So 1 by 15. I2 is?
Ma'am, 0.46 ampere.
I'm just keeping it as a fraction. You can just verify that, okay?
I2 will be negative.
Okay, so these are the three currents, I1, I2, I3. But what we have to actually determine is V0, okay? So how do we find V0?
I3 minus I2.
V0 equals to 8 into I2 minus I3.
I3
Yes.
minus I2.
Whether it is I3 minus I2 or I2 minus I3 will be the question, right?
Which is bigger, we should subtract from that, ma'am. That direction it will take.
See here. Okay, wait, I'll just show the circuit. Okay, so see here, when a current is flowing through this 8 ohm resistor, there is a voltage drop. So the convention what they have given is the top part is plus and the bottom part is minus. Okay, and when will we have a voltage drop? If the current is flowing downwards, there will be a voltage drop as what is given. So the current will be has to be I2 minus I3 for the given convention.
Yes,
Only then there will be a voltage drop, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So what is V0? V0 is 8 into I2 minus I3. So V0 is 8 into I2 minus I3. So we found what is I2 and I3. So if you substitute
3.2 volt.
V0, yes, we will get 3.2 volt.
Ma'am?
Yeah.
In case there is no voltage source, means can we take this current source as one only, or we have to apply then also superposition?
Can you repeat?
If there is no voltage source, only one current source is present in this middle only, then what should we do?
Even if there is only one current source present, you need not worry. We have to remove the current source, and for the remaining part of the circuit, we have to apply the mesh analysis.
Then only the resistors will come in.
Resistors will be there, no? And anyway, we are only fixing the loop currents I1, I2, I3. We will be able to solve it still, because anyway for the circuit there is a source. Okay.
Ma'am, also the current source is parallel to this, ma'am. So can we take the current source outside, ma'am, like outside of the 4 ohm?
Yes, 4 ohm and 3 ampere are exactly parallel. So even if you interchange, it will not create any problem.
If interchange means we cannot apply supermesh, because it will be only for the 4 ohm resistor.
No, the circuit, again we have to do the analysis. Conceptually that is correct. If we just interchange the 3 ampere and 4 ohm, what happens is one of the current directly from the current source we can write. And we have to write only 2 equations remaining.
Then it is no need of applying super mesh.
In that case, there is no need for super mesh. We will be having 2 meshes.
Three loops.
Exchange that current source and voltage source means that I3 will become 3 amperes, ma'am.
No. He is asking a different question. Actually, what he is telling is 4 ohm and 3 ampere are parallel to each other. So even if we interchange and draw, it will not create any problem. But the final solution will remain the same. The equations, the intermediate equations will change. If you want, you can just try doing it by yourself, but the final answer will be the same, but the intermediate equations will change. So in that case, we need not form a super mesh. We can directly find one current from the current source, and the remaining 2 meshes, we can write the KVL and get the remaining 2 currents, I2 and I3.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, at the time we can get directly the I1 as 3, no? We interchange.
Yes, you will get I1 as 3.
And we have to apply the remaining 2 right side loops for KVL, no?
Yes.
Ma'am, then I1 will become -3. Both are in opposite direction.
So it all depends how you draw the circuit, that's it.
Yes.
The final V0 will not change, okay? So it is up to the student to do by interchanging or not, but the final answer should not change. The V0 value should not change. Okay. So students who are interested, you can interchange and then solve it. Intermediate equations will not be exactly the same as what we have done now. Then finally you check what is V0. V0 should not change. Okay. Okay. So the first problem we solved. Any other doubts in any of the other questions?
Second.
Fourth question.
Okay, second one also.
Ma'am, second one.
Okay, second one, what is the difficulty? Second one. Okay, so second one. Okay, there is a
Second one,
dependence.
take Ix as
Let me draw the circuit. Okay, so we have to fix the loop currents. Whenever we do mesh analysis, that is the first step, fix the loop currents. So now here, if you see, this 4 ampere current is present only in one mesh. Okay, so it means that directly we can write what is I1. So what is I1 here?
4 amperes.
Yeah, I1 is 4 ampere. Okay. And now what we have to do is, for the second loop, we have to write the KVL equation. So for the second loop, if you are going in the direction of current I2, how do we write? For the voltage source, actually it is a current dependent voltage source, okay, but it is a voltage. So we will write, we are coming out of the positive terminal. If you are going in the direction of I2, so it is 2 times Ix minus this 10 ohm is common between 2 loops. So the difference of the 2 currents will flow, right? So it is minus 10 into I2 minus I1 minus 5 I2 is equal to 0. Okay, so first directly we are writing everything in terms of the loop currents. Then we will see what is the relation between Ix and I1, I2. Okay.
ma'am, for that relation we should find KCL, right?
There is no need for KCL. It is only a branch current. No, Ix is the current flowing through the 10 ohm. So what is the relation between the branch current and the loop currents?
4 minus I2, ma'am. Yeah.
Why it is I1 minus I2, right? Ix is?
Yeah.
Yes, we can write Ix is nothing but Ix is the branch current, the current through the 10 ohm. It is flowing downwards. And if you see I1 and I2, I1 is flowing down and I2 is flowing up. Okay, so if you just if you want
it's minus 2
Ma'am.
ix.
Ix is I1 minus I2.
You can write KCL at that moment.
You can also write the KCL at this node. On the bottommost node, you can write the
Same,
KCL.
ma'am.
Yes, you will get the same thing. Yes. For the loop equation, do you have any doubt? We are going in
the minus 2 ix, no, ma'am.
No, we are coming out of the positive terminal. No, we have to always go in the direction of the current. So in the direction of the current, we are coming out of the positive terminal. So I told we always follow the polarity from where we are coming out of that terminal. You see the direction of current. I2 is going in the clockwise direction. So going along the clockwise direction, we are coming out of the positive terminal. So it is plus 2Ix. Then for this 10 ohm, there will be a drop. So it is minus 10. The currents are I2 minus I1 because we are actually going along I2. So it is I2 minus I1. And for the 5 ohm, it is minus 5I2. Okay. So already we got I1. So if we replace Ix with I1 minus I2 in this equation, we will be able to get I2.
Ma'am, can you take Ix is equal to I2 minus I1 also?
No, you cannot take because Ix is flowing downwards. And as per the reference direction we have given, I1 is flowing down and I2 is going up. So Ix has to be I1 minus I2. It cannot be the other way.
And both are in the same direction, both are clockwise.
Which one is in the same direction?
I1 and I2 are clockwise.
I1 and I2 are clockwise, but if you see the branch current, in the branch, in which direction they are going?
Okay, I1 is coming down, right?
Ma'am, means I1 is leaving and I2 is entering, no, ma'am.
If you have confusion that way, what you can do is at this junction you can write the KCL. Okay, so here if you see I2 is entering this node, I1 is leaving this node. So at this node, if you write the KCL, what do we get? Ix is entering, I2 is also entering. So Ix plus I2 is equal to I1. So in terms of, are you able to understand at this node you can write Ix is entering, I2 is entering, whereas I1 is leaving. So you can write Ix plus I2 is equal to I1. Or I think one of the student asked whether both, since both are going in the clockwise direction, that is correct. But if you see the branch, I1 is coming like this, right? I1 is coming like this, and I2, it is also flowing in the clockwise. But for this particular resistance, when it is going through this resistance, it is going up. So if I draw this separately, Ix is coming down. Both I1 and I2 are going in the clockwise direction. But if you see this resistance, 10 ohm resistance separately, we can see that I1 is coming down and I2 is going up. That's the reason why we write Ix is equal to I1 minus I2. Are you able to understand? Shankara?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So though the currents are flowing in the clockwise direction, if you see specifically one particular resistance, the currents are actually moving in the opposite direction. So the difference of the two currents is actually flowing through this resistor. So we can write Ix is equal to I1 minus I2. Okay, so now solve the circuit. What is I2? So I1 we have already determined as 4 ampere. So what is I2?
2.823.
Okay, so I have it as a fraction. You can just cross check whether it is the same. So this is I2, 48 by 17. So from this we can find what is Ix. It is I1 minus I2. So we'll get the answer as 1.176 ampere. Okay, so this is the second one.
And from which loop you got this equation from the second equation?
Which second equation?
2 into I1 minus I2 minus 10.
Sorry?
2 into I1 minus I2 minus 10 into I2 minus I1.
It is from here. We are writing this equation, no? 2Ix. For the second loop, we write it as 2Ix minus 10 into I2 minus I1 minus 5I2. So I am just replacing Ix with I1 minus I2. So that is a KVL equation for the second loop, right? So for this numerical, there are two loops, and in that one current we already determined. So we require only one more equation. Okay. But since there is a dependent source Ix, we are finding Ix in terms of I1 and I2, and we are solving it. So finally, we got Ix as 1.176 ampere. Okay. So the fourth one also, it is almost similar. The fourth question. So there also we are having a current source. How many of you are able to get the answer for the fourth question?
Got it, ma'am.
Got it, ma'am.
Got it, ma'am.
Got it. Okay. Some student had a doubt, right? Should I solve the fourth one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this you copied, no? This question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we'll see the fourth question. So here there is a current source between two meshes, right? So again the same problem comes. We cannot write a KVL for the independent meshes. So we have to form the super mesh. So remove the current source and again redraw the super mesh, and then we will apply the KVL. Okay, so what will be the KVL equation? We have to go in the direction of the current. So we have minus 6 I1. So I1 is flowing only through the 6 ohm, whereas I2 is flowing both through this voltage source as well as the resistance. Okay, but since it is a voltage source, we do not require the current value. Directly we can write the voltage value. Okay, so minus 6 I1. And for the voltage source, we are coming out of the negative terminal. So it is minus 2 Vx. And for the 2 ohm resistor, already there is a voltage drop of Vx, right? So now if we are coming out of this minus terminal, so we will write it as minus Vx is equal to 0. Okay, so minus 6I1 minus 2Vx minus Vx is equal to 0. So directly we are writing the voltage drop across the 2 ohm. But we have to find what is Vx in terms of I2. So from this circuit, what is Vx in terms of I2?
2I2, ma'am.
Yeah, it is 2I2. So when current is flowing through the resistor, there is a drop. So the given convention is correct. So we can write Vx is equal to 2I2. So now you can substitute this and put it back in the previous equation. So we get it as minus 6I1 minus 6I2 is equal to 0. So this is equation number 1.
Ma'am, can we go to the 9th question once after this?
9th question, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now we have written the KVL. Now we have to write the KCL at the junction, okay, where we have removed the current source. So now applying the KCL at this junction, we can see that I2 is the incoming current, whereas the other two currents are leaving. So we can write I2 is equal to 10 plus I1. Okay, so now if you simplify this, we get I1 minus I2 is equal to minus 10. So that will be equation number 2. So if you solve I1 and I2, if you solve equation number 1 and 2, we will be getting I1 and I2. So what do we get for I1 and I2?
I1 is minus 5, I2 is 5.
Yes, I1 is minus 5 ampere and I2 is plus 5 ampere.
Minus 5 and plus 5.
I1 is minus 5 and I2 is plus 5. But actually what do we require for this particular numerical fourth one? We have to find Vx, right? We have to find what is Vx. So what is Vx? It is 2 times I2. So we get the value as 10 volt. So after solving the mesh currents I1 and I2, we have to find what is asked. Okay. So they are asking to find the value of Vx. So Vx is 2 times I2. So we will be getting the value as 10 volt. Okay. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So Vx is 10 volt. Okay. So we will see the fifth question also. So in fifth question, it is very simple because there is no current source. We have to simply apply only the KVL equations, right? Okay, so how do we do that? So fifth question. But it has a dependent.
Ma'am, fifth is nodal analysis question, right?
Okay, sorry, not fifth. The ninth one, right? Sorry, not the fifth one, the ninth one. So here there is no need for writing any KCL because all are voltage sources, but it has a dependent source also. Okay, so other than that, it is straightforward.
Ma'am, ninth we got it, ma'am.
Got it?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Can you explain this fourth one in? No, oh, wait, 1 second. Third one in this resistance one, ma'am.
In the resistance part?
Yeah.
Okay, so for the third questions in the resistance part, you have to use that Y to delta conversion and then solve it.
Okay, ma'am.
So the
ma'am,
center.
and also first one in resistance part.
First one in resistance part, yes. Okay, we will do that. So this does not require any like, do any students have issue in this question? Equation number 9. Sorry, question number 9. No, right?
No, ma'am.
It's straightforward. Okay. Okay, so equivalent resistance we will see. What is the question? The first question on equivalent resistance. Okay.
Ma'am, after this, can you tell unbalanced Wheatstone bridge?
Sorry, which one?
After this last question, fourth question in
resistance. Oh. The fourth question also you have to do a conversion from the star to delta. Only then you will be able to do it.
Done, ma'am, but small confusion.
You're not getting the answer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so for this circuit you see here, You have to carefully analyze the circuit. Sometimes without using the star to delta or delta to star, we can directly solve it. Okay. So here, if you see, there is a short circuit here, right? At this part, there is a short circuit. So because of this, you see this 12 kilo ohm resistor, they are having the same two nodes. Okay. So for these two 12 kilo ohm resistors, both their nodes are common. So it means that they are actually parallel to each other, right? So if you have a short circuit, it is equivalent to, it is at the same potential. So if you redraw the circuit, it can be drawn this way. So this 12 is parallel to another 12, and here we have 6K. Okay, so this 12K and 12K are parallel to each other. So we have the parallel combination of that. So after this, what happens? So this will be 6 kilo ohm, right? This will be 6 kilo ohm. Now this 6 and the next 6 are in series, right? This 6 and the next 6 are in series, and they are in parallel with 4K. Are you able to understand?
Ma'am, how did you remove that wire?
Yes, ma'am.
See, it's not removing the wire. A wire will always have the same potential. Okay. So it means that for this 12 kilo ohm, these are the two nodes. For the first 12 kilo ohm, these are the two nodes on the top. Similarly, for the second 12 kilo ohm also, these are the two nodes. Maybe I will use a different color. There is a delay. I am just waiting. Okay, so here you see I'm using two dots. So for the 12 kilo ohm, the nodes are shown using this yellow color, and for the second 12 kilo ohm, the nodes are shown using the pink color. So now if you see for this part, this yellow and the pink, actually both are at the same potential because they are just shorted. Okay, if they are short, there is no voltage drop across them. So it means that they are at the same potential. So this, from this we can infer that both the resistors are parallel to each other. Okay, both the resistors are parallel to each other, so we can directly take the parallel combination of that. Now again, if you simplify the circuit, what do we get? We are having this 4K. Then this 6 and the next 6 are again in parallel. Okay, 6 parallel with 6. Sorry, they are not parallel, they are series. So this 6 and the next 6 are in series. So we get it as 12K. Because they have a exclusively common node. Okay, so 6K and 6K are in series now. So you can add them together, that becomes 12K. So now 12K and 4K are parallel to each other. So if you simplify.
3.
Yes.
3 you will get, ma'am.
Yeah, 3K. So that is given in the answer key also, right? R equivalent is 3K.
Ma'am, the second question in this is confusing. It is
that
not
wire is shorted, right, in the second question?
In the second question, there is a short on the top. So what we have to do is, Directly, abruptly don't come to any conclusion unless you sort it out properly. Okay. So there we need the conversion from star to delta, otherwise we cannot solve it. Okay, we will see that the second one. So here we are having 5, 20, 20, 10. And there is a short here, right? Okay. So here this short is not exactly parallel to this two 20 ohm resistors, because there is another 10 ohm coming in between, right? So directly we cannot remove the two 20 ohm resistor because of the short. So what we have to do is we have to do this star to delta conversion. Okay, so do the star to delta conversion and then we have to simplify. Okay, so if you do the star to delta, can you tell me what are the values you will be getting?
$80, ma'am. That short part.
Okay, this is 80, yeah?
Yes,
80, and the other two?
40, 40.
40, 40. Okay. So it means that now we can remove the center part. Okay. We can remove the center part now. So have you done this up to here? It means that actually this star connection we are now converting into a delta connection. So I'll just remove this star now. So now it becomes easy for us to solve. Okay. So what happens now?
Ma'am, is that 40 and 5 are in parallel?
Yes, 40 and 5 are in parallel.
And that equivalent will be in series with 80 and that will be parallel to 40 again.
No. See, we are having an 80 and short in parallel. So what happens? It becomes a short. It becomes 0. So now here 40 and 5 are in parallel. This is 40. Okay, so this becomes 40 by 9. Now this and the next 40 are in parallel. So for R equivalent, it is again 40 parallel with . Okay, so now it is 40 parallel with 40 by 9.
$400 by 9.
400 by 9.
4.
Answer is 4 ohm.
4 ohms.
Yeah, 4 ohm. Okay. So carefully you have to do it. So what we are doing here is first we are converting that star to delta. So after conversion we are finding that 80 is parallel to a short. So it is replaced with a short. Then 40 and 5 are parallel. So we are simplifying that. And after simplifying we see that again that 40 and 40 by 9 are parallel. So if you simplify we will be getting it as 4 ohm. Okay. Okay. So I think you are able to follow this, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any other doubt? For the third question and fourth question, you have to do the star to delta conversion and then solve it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah.
Ma'am, for the
Even
fourth
for the
question also, I mean, we have to convert the star to delta, ma'am.
Ma'am, fourth one is delta to star, right?
whichever you find it easier, or whichever will give the answer in a few steps, you can do that. Either
Nodal you will explain later, ma'am.
Yeah, nodal we will see later. Fourth question, I think rather than star to delta, there are two boxes, right? So one of the box, if you can convert from delta to star, I think in single step we will be able to get the solution. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean the 6, 10 and 5, ma'am.
Which one?
You told.
I'm not able to hear you. Can you repeat?
Ma'am, you mean the 6, 5, 10, which are in a triangular shape, we have to convert it to a star, ma'am.
That 6, 5, 10 you can convert into star. That will help you to solve it easily.
Yes, ma'am. Got it.
Yes.
Ma'am, also we can convert the 6, 40 and 10 into a star also. We can, I mean, the delta also we can do it, ma'am.
It is already in the form of a star. You can convert into delta and do it. See, sometimes if you are converting, sometimes it may require 2-time conversions. But on the other hand, if you carefully observe the circuit, if you are converting from delta to star, with a single conversion, we will be able to simplify the circuit. So it all depends on how you visualize the circuit. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I think the mesh analysis is clear. Okay, if you have any doubts, you can always discuss with me. And once we complete this nodal analysis with voltage sources, you can solve the remaining problems. I may not solve the similar way as what I did today, since it is the first assignment. I solved each and every step. But from next time onwards, I will not solve the complete steps. I will just give for whichever you have doubts, I will just give the hint. With that, you should be able to solve it. Okay. Okay. So anything else today?
Ma'am, will you discuss nodal analysis problems also?
Nodal analysis now I may not be able to discuss, because nodal analysis with voltage source I will be teaching only on Monday. So after that you take 1 week time to solve it, and if you still face any issues, we will we will discuss it on a Saturday, or maybe on any weekdays afternoons. If you are free, we will discuss it. Okay. Okay, so then we will wind up today.
Ma'am, what are the portions of the quiz?
Up to nodal. Yes, thank you. Up to nodal analysis, whatever we will be covering up to Monday is there for the Q1.
Okay, ma'am.
Up to nodal analysis we have. Okay, then we will wind up. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.